Hello, guys. Today I will be talking about Frieren journeys, beyond journeys and anime. That's a real kicker. It's a slow burn, but also very exciting story filled with action sequences at the end of first season. And let me tell you, the amount of characterization that the series has is amazing in my humble opinion, because she is established as this old elder elf who doesn't age and is really have very has very complex emotions. But I want to point out something I noticed. Siri, as in the first opening of Frieren, is portrayed as villain, as antagonist. He has this evil grin, and the colors in the opening are almost purple red. So I think this is our secret antagonist. Not that secret, it's very obvious, but I don't know if she will be ever a villain to fight. Because think about it, she she has viewpoint of old age, of old era, so she is more likely to stand by old principles, and she couldn't be swayed or convinced about new mages who didn't get to certain level to do something about them. So at the very end of the first season, the season is not yet not ended, but it's very close to it. She just denies the first class mage certificate to almost all of them except Fern. And that's telling because Fern was taught by Frieren, and she is basically the protege child. So she has a great potential, and she is quite young. So she could be a very good mage. But I cannot shake the feeling that if Siri is wherever to change her mind and go to demon grounds, she will be most certainly instantly feared and revered among demons, and she would be on the very top of their horde. So yeah, that's a scary thought to have and scary enemy to fight. But yeah, that's Syria. She is like the most, let's say, she has her wisdom, but she is also someone with very much pride to it. And let me tell you, the the thing she does, she collects grimoires, magic books, like Frieren. But Frieren do this for, you know, triviality, for he, her own amusement, and she collects the spells basically to have fun. But Siri collects all difficult, in my opinion. I'm just guessing here. The most important and most difficult battle spells from in her grimoires. She collects them in order to for anybody to not have them, and then asked a promising mage a question: do you have desire? And this is very like demons in the word of Frieren are mostly the same. They crave desire to expand their magic competencies, the magic field. And yeah, Serie is very similar in certain ways to how demons view the world and the status as of late. So for Siri to be in cahoots with demons is not that impossible. Yet I don't think the story will go that route, at least for now. Maybe in the future, in the final chapters, but not right now. But let's remember the old folks are really hard to convince, especially by younger generation, because you have old granny or old grandpa, and they cannot be swayed or convinced. They are stubborn as hell. Siri is that way, but she she is stubborn, but also has this smug demeanor which allows her to mock everyone around her. So yeah, and by the way, Chibi from channel Chibi Reviews described her in her 27 episode review quite well, I think. But you know, I cannot shake the feeling she will be much more of a villain than antagonist for few chapters. She is like, and remember, she told to Frieren that she will probably die by a human mage. So maybe she secretly despises humanity. She's an elf after all. And the elves in the Frieren world are no longer that plentiful. So yeah, she might be in cahoots with demons. And that's a scary thought to have, because if her philosophy is anything but well, if her philosophy is nihilistic, well, she is an old hag, let me tell ya. Let me tell ya, she is an old hag who cannot process the grief properly. Yeah. And the way they draw her face, it's like, yeah, she is really old, she is really powerful, but one one ill thought in her brain, and she could change the sides and cause so much destruction. It's honestly scary. It's honestly scary. And yeah, I love Siri as a character. She's a great character. This is how you write an old, almost timeless creature. And free author of Frieren does this perfectly, because in most fucking anime fantasy or anime productions which center around fantasy worlds like isekai, elves are mostly described as slow learners. So they are slow in their emotional, you know, psychology. So the elf with 50 years will behave like a toddler or grade schooler. But yeah, in Frieren we don't have that. In Frieren, the elves behave like humans who lived for 100, 200, 300 years and so on. And that puts in perspective why they are like that. And also it's a good thing that they are not that many in this world, because think about it, what kind of wildery will be to have a whole nation of elves who can be very powerful mages and write them off like dying race. It wouldn't make sense. The elves are so powerful that would wipe out humanity, demonkind, and everything else. Because that's what you do if your like nation is threatened. You just get rid of the enemy completely. Why do you need humans? Do you have like philosophy about balance in nature? Of course you could have that, but what's more safe, killing all the humans who can my revolt, or giving him a helping hand? Huh? Yeah. And let's say that the good thing about the elves are rare, very rare in the world of Frieren, and they are not that common anymore, like back in the old age. So yeah, they are on the verge of extinction probably, and maybe because they were slaughtered by demonkind. But Serie is like, she always wants something from you, doesn't she? So she has those grimoires, almost a whole collection of old world's grimoires, not many books not passed by her hands, and she asked everyone who deems worthy, "What's your desire?" That's very demon like. That's very, very demon like. And well, why she do this? If if she is looking for conviction in the mage, like the Frieren is the answer to that. And yet Frieren doesn't need to any of her books because want to collect spells on her own. Yeah, and this is a fascinating character. Siri is like the perfect antagonist of the first season and maybe second season. So sh- we know that she wants her apprentice to have desire, certain desire, either to be more powerful, more smarter, or have unique spell which is his ace in the hole. But that's that's that kind of exchange is very similar to contracts with demons. Not in the world of freedom, because we never seen a demon making a contract with another user, because that's not that kind of world and not that kind of magic system. But yeah, she is like the devil, like the devil. No doubts about that. She wants you to want something from her, and by doing so, she makes the mage, the mage seeking knowledge, dependable on her. Maybe she wants just like well educated apprentice, but I think, well, why exactly she does that? Every good teacher in World of Fantasy would say that he would taught the basics of spells and then said to his apprentice, "Okay, you have basic understanding of magic. Now, what you can do creative about that?" And then left him for to experiment. But Siri doesn't do this. She wants you to have a desire, very certain, very crystallized desire. And maybe she wants to use that desire to further her own goals. Let's remember the mage Flama, who was apprentice of Siri, uh, put her put Siri in position of, let's say, mage master, the first school of the head of the first school of magic for men, for humanity. So yeah, she shown she was upset by this, and when it came to her, she wouldn't even like agree or think about teaching humans even the basics of magic. It's like time wrongly spent for her, and that kind of thinking is like dangerous because it's very similar to demonkind. Demonkind fear and revere the mana which is greater than their own. So they basically like pack of wolves, and whoever is the strongest will lead the pack. And Siri is very similar to that. It's almost unsettling. But that are my ramblings for today. And yeah, for now, it will be just this. Siri, great antagonist. But Frieren has also her quirks, like, you know, getting into oh god, mimics. Mimics are from Dungeons and Dragons, basically, but they were creatures created by the wizard to protect his books and stuff and chests. So yeah, this is like the most basic reference to Dungeons and Dragons, and the way that Freeran just was is convinced that Mimic is not a mimic but a treasure chest with a grimoire. It's honestly hilarious. That's like the best joke for this elf. So that's enough of that. Okay, see ya.